Step into the octagon. My water, more water, shining. I'm a great American professor. Oh, it's like a tumor, I get you the rope. Oh, college school, I got a hate. Training inland, a friend of cannabis, flying triangles, elevates. Yo, I represent Ted Planet. Professor O's, America, America. Achuga mare, pure giri, ambassador. Professor O's, America, America. Mamote, Brazil, oi halate. Professor O's, Jet Planet. Professor O's, America. Migi wonsa woni mawale.
On the subject of body orientation in regards to when the opponent shot on me and I've sprawled, maybe started my front headlock series, which do I go for? Do I go for the anaconda or the darce? Probably wondering that. Because it's not necessarily just that somebody might favor the darce or favor the anaconda. I think this is more so linked to the leading edge concept. So if my partner here has basically like shot on me and I sprawled with no connection to the legs right here, one of the important things to understand here is that, as we've talked about before, when I wanted to break the darce down, I have to be in the perpendicular body position, and when I want to roll with the anaconda, I need to be in a parallel body position. So to kind of translate this to this position right here, yes, if we're stuck in a parallel body position, then anaconda is probably the move, right? If I tried to circle to the back and she hits me with a short underhook, that prevents me from moving to the back. Now I could go for the darce, okay? So let's do that from this angle. So again, on the leading edge concept, it's what is closest to me, right? We're gonna go for that one. So I sprawled with the front headlock, and a common dilemma from the front headlock is gonna be, to move to the back or apply the guillotine. In this case, she defended the guillotine. I decided to circle to the back. She hits me with a short underhook. I can't move to the back anymore. But look, I have a perpendicular body position. Now I can break her down, and my chest is already over the arm as I circle and stay in a perpendicular body position. Now I can move the darce. Alternatively, she shot, I sprawled, no connection to the legs right now. I'm in a circle, but she stays parallel with me. You see that? So she shifted to stay parallel with me. So in this case, I have no choice but to go for the anaconda, okay? If I was trying to circle to this side for the back, and I go to circle and she squares up with me, see that? So now I have no choice but to go for the anaconda, and then I roll through. So I hope that helps your understanding of which to use in regards to how your body orientation relates to the leading edge concept in the front headlock position right there. Hope that helps. On the subject of body orientation with the anaconda, particularly when they're in a turtled position right here, and I haven't necessarily broken them down yet, let's look at what I can do to break them down and how my body orientation affects that. Okay, so what's interesting about the anaconda as opposed to the darce is that I actually want to keep a parallel body position here when I roll. And the reason I can afford to do that is because when I roll and go underneath her, I'm blocking her base, okay? So we're gonna do the Olympic roll, right? Now you can choose to do this with a couple of different grips, the two being either already with the anaconda or with this, this variation right here, which helps to fold the arm and allows us to roll through. But yeah, I'm going to do this from a parallel body position. So I come up into a sprawl right here, and I'm going to roll through and roll all the way through, okay? Look at that, roll all the way through, okay? Now, notice how I'm keeping a parallel body position here until I'm ready to finish, in which case I actually start walking my hips in and bridging. We're not gonna bridge and try to squeeze from from a parallel body position, I have to go to a perpendicular right here. So I hope that helps you understand the body orientation in regards to the anaconda. We're going to take this bicep variation from the perpendicular body position to roll her over the shoulder, okay? Once we hit the mat, it might be easier to shoot the darce really deep from a more parallel body position, but in order to keep the elbow closed, I'm going to be on the perpendicular body position right here, okay? Now, like if you got it really deep, you'll notice your whole fist pops out right here, okay? And then we can apply the appropriate pressure and compression to get the tap. But you'll notice that I have to go to a perpendicular body position right here from first breaking them down, and then also in the finishing position with the darce. All right, so I hope that helps your darce. Over the last few videos, you've noticed that I've talked about more offensive positions with the front headlock and how to complete a submission or how to break someone down so we can start applying a submission. In this case, we're going to look at how you might screw up the whole front headlock, okay? And I'm going to show you a mistake that could easily be made, and maybe the proper offensive tool to use if you get caught in a front headlock, right? So we've talked about body orientation recently, and obviously when you're on top of the front headlock, it requires the freedom of movement to be able to shift the body orientation so you can choose which tool to use, right? Well, we're not even gonna get to use a tool if I cannot control my body orientation from on top of the front headlock. A common example of this is going to be if she shoots on my leg and I sprawl, but I can't get my leg free. I might have a front headlock here, but unfortunately, I can't control my body orientation. In fact, she has more control over my body orientation than I do. And she can freely move and control her body orientation, okay? See, she can circle and pivot around this leg right here, and I'm kind of screwed, okay? So in a scenario like this, especially from a standing position, you essentially have to do a reversal to them to get them underneath you and on the mat. Something common might be like a Kimura, you know, and then like that little kick through where I roll over here, watch your arm. Okay, so, or alternatively, if she goes for a single leg, you know, I might have to start doing like what the wrestlers do, where they lift a leg to try to prevent them from moving freely, right? So that's just kind of the concept right here when we're looking at why it's important to have a sprawled leg and a free leg when we're applying a front headlock. So yeah, I'm kind of screwed right here until I can get my leg free, okay? Or until I can reverse them to put their back on the mat. So I hope that helps your front headlock and your understanding of maybe a flaw that can happen in that position. Yeah, that's fine. All right, guys, we're gonna look at another concept with the front headlock. Let's say you're in the front headlock, right? Furthering that discussion before where we were talking about how if somebody has a leg grab on you, it's gonna be very difficult for you to have, to be able to control the body orientation, being parallel or perpendicular, right? Which you need in order to successfully execute these moves. This is actually a better expression of a worst case scenario, right? If my opponent has applied a front headlock on me and they end up on the bottom, maybe I took them down, or they decided to throw themselves down there while like trying to execute a bottom side arm in guillotine, to be specific right here, okay? First off, you'll notice that my head's on the opposite side, okay? Her elbow's up high, it's not down low. Too slow, it's not gonna work. So I'm holding onto the leg right here though, because what she can do, if she has her leg free, she can control the body orientation. She can walk to a parallel body position in height and then come on top, okay? We don't want that. So, if I can control her leg right here, she can no longer control her body orientation. She cannot move, right? So by me holding onto this leg, it's gonna stop that, okay? Another thing that traps her is that she's on the mat, okay? So, because she's on the mat and she can't move, I don't have to worry about her changing the body orientation as long as I have this leg, okay? So, what I need to do is I need to use the mat to also scrape her off of me, okay? That's gonna look like this, right? So I'm gonna start cutting this angle and back my head out this way, and I'm gonna circle it to the front. And now I've effectively relieved the front headlock. Front headlock, we fell to the side right here, okay? Now I've got her leg so she can't reset, and now I'm gonna come up, try to keep some weight on her, and now I'm going to back up a little bit and circle my head out to the front of her body, and then I can continue passing or whatever, right? So the problem here is that this person applying the front headlock has taken away their ability to control their body orientation by being on bottom, and furthermore, I've taken away any chance they have to even use the floor by pushing off the floor by collecting their leg, okay? So you can see now there's been two expressions where a leg grab technique can effectively stop the body orientations needed to apply a front headlock technique successfully. So if you guys are looking for like what to do against somebody that keeps putting you in front headlocks, I'm gonna say maybe leg grabs and teeing off on them is probably the right move. Hope that helps.